88.6 Plenty Valley FM.
2011, the song of the year, "Death in the Family," was my song of the year, the best thing I'd heard for the year. So
Sure.
finally got a chance in person to say thank you for that song.
Oh, thank you.
And thanks for coming in tonight. Folks, we're going to do something a little bit different. Joanna's going to be playing live for us. He's brought a stack of CDs in as well, so he's got some of the songs that either his favourites or have inspired him that we're going to play in this first hour, and just have a bit of a chat about the new album, Dr. Pelican on Holiday. You're going to kick it off, though, with a song, and it is the song of the year from 2011, "A Death in the Family." Just want to tell us a little bit about the song before you get into it?
It was a song I wrote after just attending my partner's grandmother's funeral, actually. It was just I feel like the song is just describing the day. It was just a really kind of beautiful day, you know. It was sort of very kind of tight-knit family, and it's just sort of, I guess funerals are sad, but it didn't feel that sad in a way, you know. It just sort of felt like a celebration of the person's life, and I just sort of, I guess there's little observations on, you know, on how the day unfolded, I guess.
Yeah, and that's what struck me about the song. So beautifully written and sung, but the snippets of, and those of us have gone through funerals, you notice the things that you noticed. Everyone notices those, and I guess that's what resonates with people. And I feel like I'm prying because it's based on a real event, but it just there's a lot of people that have come to me after hearing the song and just saying it meant a lot to them, and they took something personal out of it.
Sure.
And you've saying that you've heard that quite a bit from people.
I have, yeah. I guess I actually heard there was this one situation where a girl had passed away. She was only 16 or something like that, and she died in a car accident really unexpectedly.
Okay.
And her parents contacted me, or just through my management and stuff, and they said, look, we've looked at this girl had made a playlist for her funeral, just like kind of I think you can do it on iTunes or something like that, and my song was on there, and it had only just been out, and she just accidentally had passed away in a terrible car accident, and yeah, they played the song at the funeral, and you know, like that's you know, it was really. It was incredibly sad, really, for me. But I guess, you know, you could sort of, I guess that was, you know, just a family going through a horrible time.
Sure.
And they were in Perth, you know, it wasn't anywhere near where we are.
Yeah.
And she happened to hear the song on iTunes and liked it, and then ended up being played at a funeral, which is, you know, very sad. But I guess they said it meant a lot to them, and they really, you know.
We're recording this, so I'm going to ask permission if I can play it at mine. And I'm a little bit older, so I might be, you know, it'll be coming around any time.
I hope not.
But it's a beautiful song. So without further ado, let's have a listen to "A Death in the Family."
Sure. I found the news through the telephone. I heard you speak. There has been a death in the family. She is at peace. Oh, 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 oh. The plans make us make a funeral, and we forget to eat. We cry, and I tried to remember the last thing you said to me. I think you said, oh, 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 oh. We drive to a cemetery on a hill. We take off our shoes, and I can tell that there isn't one of us who wouldn't lay down in the ground beside you if they could. Oh, 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 we go to a bowling club from the 70s, watch strangers fill their place. We smile and drink to your memory, and we envy the rest you'll get. And we say, oh, 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 oh,
Beautiful. A Death in the Family. Thanks very much for that. It's a great song.
Cheers, thank you.
So privileged to see it live in the studio. Now, lead singer of Epicure, and 2010 disbanded. Is that
Yeah,
right?
we finished
I
up
think.
in 2010, yeah.
And what interests me is in a band, you're a part of a collective, so there's group decisions.
Sure.
What's the main difference when it's all up to me now? I'm doing everything.
Well, I guess the difference is if I want to put a pelican smoking a cigar on the front of my album, I can do it, and there's no committee and there's no discussion, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know, there's ups and downs. Like
Yeah.
I do miss, being in the band, and we're all still really good friends,
Yep.
and certainly a camaraderie, in that. We toured, we got to tour Australia and make albums together.
Yeah.
I guess all that stuff is still there. So I guess the downside is I don't have that really anymore, like that kind
Yep.
of. The best part of being in a band is actually just kind of jamming together, not when you're touring or recording
Sure.
or playing. It's just hanging around and playing songs
Yeah.
and writing the songs. So I guess I don't have that anymore. But I guess the upside is that there's always a little bit of compromise when you're in the band. And even though I was kind of the main one writing the songs, I tried to. Everyone is playing on the album and
Right.
has an input. So I guess the sound. More than probably I thought at the time, is influenced by the other band members, you know what I mean? And having done some solo stuff
Sure.
now, you really hear how essentially the same songs can sound very different with different
Yeah.
people playing on them. So I guess it's more of a realised vision for me, I guess. It's more the way I kind of wanted it to be. And although with the new album, the producer Dave Manton had a big sort of bearing on that as well. But
Right.
I guess it's just more focused on my vocals and the songs a bit more,
Yeah.
in a band, there's a feeling like everyone has to sort of be on every song, and with this stuff, it's not quite like that. You just
Right.
if the vocal needs to be just on its own, like A Death in the Family I don't think it would have really worked in Epicure, because
Right.
it would have been a very different song anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
With what was I going to say? With this with what you're doing now, it struck me with the release of the EPs, you haven't rushed into anything. I don't know what a normal time to put an album together,
Yeah.
but it strikes me that you've been doing it at the pace you wanted to. So you release an EP, you release a single,
Yeah.
and then it didn't seem to be okay. We're going to rush it out with following up the album. I reckon there's at least 18 months or so between putting some stuff out and then saying, right, I've got the album ready.
Yeah.
What was the reasoning behind that? Just because you wanted to make sure it's 100% right, or
Yeah. Look, it's a combination of things,
Yeah.
and I guess before that, the very first EP I did solo was still very much a band kind of release. I did it with some friends, but it was kind of 5-piece rock band, so it was like Epicure in a way. It
Yeah.
made it sound like sort of similar to that.
right?
And I really liked that, but I guess just sort of actually it was a financial thing really. It's cost to get a band in
Sure.
the studio for a long time, and so
Yep.
it was actually my manager had the idea of let's do some kind of really stripped back kind of recordings. And The Death and the Family was the first song. I thought I wanted that song to be like that anyway. I didn't
Yep.
imagine a band being on that, so I recorded that with Dave and was just really happy with the way it came out.
Right.
And then we did Superhuman again, just to sort of because
Yep.
we had this good chemistry.
Yeah.
And then at that point, it's like, okay, well maybe the whole album can be like this. You know, it doesn't have to have rock songs and
Great.
which I'd done in the past. So I thought I had to go back and rethink some songs I had, and I guess also write some more songs with that in mind. Do you know what I mean? So I guess I just want to take a little bit more time to go back and maybe 6 months to write
Yep.
some more songs, live a little bit, and then we went back and recorded it. And I guess we both have lives that are filled with day jobs we don't really like and
Yeah.
all that sort of stuff. So you have to get around all that stuff. But Dave,
Yep.
the producer, he's a really busy guy, but he's really talented, and I love the production on the record. And
Great.
it was kind of worth waiting for him to be ready
Yeah,
to do it. And
for sure.
It's not as I have a devoted fan base, or like a fan base just dying to hear my next thing. So it's like you may as well take your time with it. And
Yep.
all the best Epicure stuff was done like that, where we didn't feel any kind of pressure
Yeah.
to have something else. That
Great.
So that was just like, why not?
Yeah,
Take
and it's
time with it.
fantastic.
Yeah.
I really like it.